game. She's 7.1 free throw attempts, 52% from the field, 46% from three. She also gets 2.1 steals. She must be exhausted after every game.
Brenda Pintoya, Royce Blevins, Bill Lawrence are the referees for this one. Crowd rising to their feet here at the Lloyd Noble Center. This is the second game of a doubleheader of basketball. The Oklahoma men remained unbeaten and closed out conference play with a win over Prairie View A&M earlier today. Reagan Beers will jump center for Oklahoma. Fonta Gassama is back in the lineup this afternoon for New Mexico State. She's an important component. She went through shoot-around this morning, and she began the season with back-to-back double-doubles. They're happy to have her. Wide open three for Skylar Vann, won't land. And the rebound to Siani Sanchez-Oliver, the Delaware State transfer. Opening possession for the Aggies. Selena Peterson off balance, and the rebound to Reagan Beers. Oklahoma likes to up the tempo. Sooners third in scoring nationally. Reagan Beers, deep post position and an easy bucket off the dump down from Sahara Williams.
You know, if she gets to that deep, Chad, she is going to score, and Coach Adams does not like that because she wanted to make her go over the right shoulder more than the left.
Leading the country in field goal percentage is Reagan Beers at 72%, and there's Molly Kaiser. 46% from three-point range on the year, knocks down her first bucket.
We're going to see a lot of that, Chad. Molly is going to let it fly, which I know you like.
I do. I love that idea. She leads this team in scoring, assists, and steals. And Jody Adams said she's just an uncommon type of player with her talent and loyalty to stay in the program for 5 years.
Especially in this day and age, that says a lot about Kaiser because you know she's had opportunities, Chad.
That one kind of scrapes the hand of Reagan Beers, and she got bumped and fouled from behind. Foul will be on the floor, and it's against Gassama. Fonta Gassama, South Georgia Tech transfer. She's from Matero, Spain. Picks up the first foul. Into Beers from Nevaeh Tot this time, and that's out of bounds off the leg of Peterson.
What did we talk
Beers
about?
kind of holding it, looks like her left thumb.
Man, hey, what did we talk about? I'm sorry too, Chad, but how much attention does Reagan Beers draw when that pass, that entry post pass was going in? She had 3 black jerseys surrounding her.
You said it last week against Omaha. It's like she can get an assist without even touching the basketball.
That's just how much attention she draws.
Off balance try by Verhulst. Rebound Sahara Williams. No. And back tap there by Williams. The reset for Nevaeh Tot. So a third chance here for the Sooners.
The Sooners are good enough with one opportunity. If you give them 3, that is going to happen.
Beers missed again. Retrieves her own miss and scores this time.
Make that 4. Give them 4 opportunities. That is what's going to happen. And the Sooners do that as well as anyone. They're the top rebounding team in the nation, and they're showing you why.
Lead the country in rebounding and rebounding margin. Jenny Baranchek bringing her team back. She said we can still fine-tune a few things. That's what you want to do. Like to have a little better spacing, and very important to see how they guard a star player like Molly Kaiser today. You're going to get into the SEC, and you're going to have some stars in that league. A 3 off the mark from Tally Jones. She's been battling a stress fracture a season ago. Her numbers are down a little bit this year. Beers misfires there, and the rebound picked up by Siani Sanchez-Oliver.
Well, Chad, we talked about Reagan Beers loves that left hand over the right shoulder, right hand over the left shoulder, and I do think the Aggies are going to try to make her shoot it with her left hand more, but she's more than capable of making that shot.
Kaiser has made a 3 this time, puts it on the deck, no good. Beers a quick outlet pass. Verhulst, the super versatile Sooner. Beers has made a couple of 3s this year. Skylar Vann over the top, no. Oklahoma 2 of 8 from the field to start this one.
It's a numbers game, though. When you play the Sooners, they want those high possessions, and they have such spurtability, as I like to call it. At any time, they can just explode, Chad.
Kaiser flipping it over to Gassama, who puts it on the deck. Tough shot, but she got it to go. And the lead goes to the Aggies.
Really good drive right there by Gassama, using her body to kind of shield and shoot it over the left shoulder right in rhythm.
Verhulst, no. Rebound ricochets out to Nevaeh Tot. Vann will try her second 3, and this one it's good.
Skylar really been shooting it well, Chad. She is up to about 30% right now from behind that arc and shooting it with a lot of confidence.
Went over 1,500 points for her career in Oklahoma's win at UNLV a couple of weeks ago. Big 12 Player of the Year last year. That one splashes down for Gassama, the senior.
Gassama just getting warmed up. Only played in 5 games so far this year, but these Aggies are going to depend on her a lot, and hopefully she stays healthy.
Beers gets free to score again.
You let her get it 2 feet in that restricted arc, and she is going to kill you.
Off the steal by Van. Williams can't drop home the 3. And rebounded by Tylee Jones. Sooners given the Aggies fits in the backcourt. Gianni Sanchez-Oliver going to work with Kaiser backing down Tot. Shoots over the top, no. And Tot with a running rebound for the Sooners. Beers trying to lob that low to Skylar Van, but it's an Oklahoma turnover. Their first. Jody Adams in her 3rd season as the head coach at New Mexico State. Her team is 7-5, coming off an 8-day break. Had a very successful run at Wichita State. Went to 3 NCAA tournaments there, and also head coach at Murray State. Won a national title as a player at Tennessee under the great Pat Summitt back in 1991. And it's interesting, these 2 head coaches who squared off with each other for about 5 years when Jenny Baranczyk was head coach at Drake and Jody Adams was at Wichita State. Jenny Baranczyk said one of the things that made her Drake teams better was figuring out how to beat Jody Adams' Wichita State teams, who had a good run going.
She gave Coach Adams the ultimate compliment as that shot goes up when she said everyone in the league wanted to play like Wichita State because of the success and dominance that they had in the Missouri Valley, Chad.
And ultimately the way to beat them was to play unlike them.
Isn't that how it works?
Liz Scott into the game, plucks the offensive rebound. Puts it up reverse and scores it.
Liz Scott doing Liz Scott things. She gets 1.5 offensive rebounds per game. I love to call those activity stats and effort stats, and Liz brings activity and effort every single night.
Well, those are 2 good adjectives for Liz Scott.
Activity and effort, Chad. Liz brings it.
And there she has another rebound. Now Liz Scott, 6 points, 8 rebounds, and 3 steals in Oklahoma's win over Michigan. So active, and she's got an assist there to Skylar Van for the bucket. Timeout taken by New Mexico State. Sooners 13-7 on top 5 minutes into this one. Effective of her teammates, watching how other teams have to prepare for facing Reagan Beers, and they've become, number one, well aware of the opportunities her presence provides them and how nice it is to have rim protection on the backside defensively.
Well, you can be a lot more aggressive and get out in the passing lanes and, you know, get steals, shoot the gap, because you know she's behind you, anchoring that Sooner defense.
Jayla Harding for New Mexico State. Shot clock is at 13 for the Aggies after that called timeout. Illegal screen there is, you know, you always talk about this, Boo. The guards have to make sure that the big is set when the screen happens, or the big's going to get whistled for a foul, like Garcia.
It's a two-way street. I say it takes 2 to tango. You can't leave early because you end up putting that big player in trouble.
Ty Van off the mark as she's just entered the game. And here comes Kaiser. Harding's 3. Air ball right to Liz Scott. Lexi Keys can't leave her unguarded. But that one's off the mark. Skylar Van, what a rebound, but she couldn't finish it. That's 4 or 5 in and around the basket the Sooners have missed. This lead might be 12 or 15.
It really is, and the Sooners have been all over that offensive glass.
There's Garcia, the native of Madrid, Spain. She's one of 4 Spaniards on the New Mexico State roster.
A lot of international flavor here for this Aggie group, where they have 7 players with international ties, Chad.
Van trying to lob up top to Verhulst, but it's poked away out of bounds by Kaiser this time. Sooners going to substitute. Jody Adams said when you play Power 4 programs like this, you really want to note the small things. Are you making it hard on them to score? Are you getting back in transition defense? Are you making them take tough shots? All those sorts of things.
Well, and she knows what winning looks like, Chad, and she's so right. And I always talk about it. We'll wait a second here.
Tahara Williams unable to convert. And Loes Rosing with a rebound. She's from the Netherlands. The transfer from South Georgia Tech.
Well, I talk about even a player as good as Reagan Beers. When you give her angles, she's great. She's great regardless. But when you make her score over, that's a great example of giving up an angle. It makes it easier.
Gassama puts down that field goal. That's her second of the afternoon. Liz Scott has that one taken. 2-on-1 here, but looks like Gassama's going to wait for reinforcements. 2-point game as Oklahoma raced out to a quick 6-point lead. Mexico State put a few things together, though.
They really are, and they're well-schooled, well-coached. Coach Adams does a good job. They are really looking to kind of play that inside-out basketball. And right here, it's shot into the shot clock. You're going to see ball screens for Kaiser.
Rosing blocked out of bounds by Reagan Beers. Well, she had to take it, even though she may have known what the result was going to be.
Well, we talked about rim protection that time. Left corner shot block. Great job covering ground from the paint to block that. And Reagan Beers showing you that she can, you know, is versatile enough to get out on the perimeter and do those things, Chad.
That is her 15th blocked shot of the year. More than just rim protection. How about perimeter protection?
That's big time. I mean, ran out and covered ground.
She got that one up. It was a good job by Harding just to get that one away. Oklahoma transitions the other way, and that pass a little out of the reach of Reagan Beers from Keys.
Well, these Sooners want to play fast, and, you know, Coach Baranczyk talks about that, them playing up tempo, but that time, as a passer, Lexi tried to pass the cutter into that. You throw the ball to the cutter, Chad. Can't think for them.
2 minutes to play here in the opening period. Kaiser knocks down her second triple of this opening period.
I'm going to just say it. Kaiser is a bucket getter.
Yes.
Chad. You got shot takers, but she's a shot maker and a bucket getter.
Sahara Williams tries to answer. Halfway down and then back out. And we've got a tie up underneath. Like everybody's okay. Scott wrestling in there with Gassama. Gassama a little slow to get up. The alternating possession arrow there goes to Oklahoma.
Liz Scott is always in, and I love it, always in the thick of it, though. She's just one of those players that brings what we say, that activity and that energy, Chad.
And she's out right now as Skylar Vann returns. This is a 7-0 run for New Mexico State. I misspoke there. That was a foul called on Liz Scott, not the possession arrow. So Liz Scott picks up a first and then exits. Harding dumping it in for Gassama. Left-handed shot, no. And Beers plucks another rebound. Beers 4 rebounds.
Does not get credit for a block shot, but she altered that in a big way, Chad.
Williams had that ripped away by Jones, and this time we do have a held ball. And possession goes the other way.
That was something we talked about in the open. Reagan and what she brings to this Sooner team. She didn't block that shot, but Gassama took a highly difficult shot with her left hand just because she saw number 52 right there in the corner of her eye, Chad.
7-0 run for New Mexico State. As Kaiser misses that one, but it's retrieved by Peterson. And reset for the Aggies.
This is something to keep an eye on. Oklahoma's ball screen coverage with Kaiser coming off of these ball screens. Reagan Beers is in a drop coverage, and Kaiser is an excellent mid-range jump shooter, Chad.
2 to shoot. Jones circles, and they didn't realize it. It'll be a shot clock violation. Turnover number 3.
And you know who I always say, Chad, the old point guard in me talks about someone has to be the quarterback and let the team know that there's different calls, red, termination in, whatever you want to call it. Shot clock's low. We got to get a shot up, and no one in the black jersey knew it just then on that possession.
Here's left unguarded, launches. No. Oklahoma 1 of 9 from 3-point range here in the opening period. And a 7-0 run in progress for New Mexico State on this trip. Aggies have the lead. Oklahoma has missed its last 6 from the field. And a 4-minute scoring drought for the Sooners.
And I'm just looking, there hasn't been a lot of fouling going on in this game either, Chad. It's been a pretty clean game to this point.
Gassama traveled with it. When you think back when Oklahoma had that run, Jody Adams called a timeout, and her team has really hit the reset button.
They have. They're really, I'll tell you what they're really doing as well, Chad. They are competing on the glass right now, boxing out and making Oklahoma come over them and through them to try to rebound the ball.
Final touch for the Sooners to close out the first. Van to the backdoor cutting tot. Beers couldn't find the tip. Sooners have missed a few right around the basket, and they trailed New Mexico State by 1.
The Sooners doing what they love to do early in the game. Get it inside to Reagan Beers wearing number 52 and number 7. Kaiser said back at
in 3 seasons as head coach, they've lost only 1 player in the transfer portal. That says a lot, and a big reason for that has been Kaiser and her ability.
Chad, you know I always talk about the locker room lawyers in a good way, the person that the coach leans on and depends on, and Molly Kaiser is that person for these Aggies.
So Oklahoma will start with the basketball here, getting Reagan Beers back in. She rips that ball away and then gets tied up. 3 Aggies surrounding Reagan Beers, and possession goes the other way. Oklahoma just got it to start period 2, and the Aggies take it right back.
We talked about how much attention that Reagan draws. Now all of a sudden you start pass faking. They move on the flight of the pass, or so they think. Pass fakes, the Sooners look for them to start using those with Reagan in the post.
Uncharacteristically, Oklahoma shooting just 25% in that first quarter.
That is definitely not Sooner-like, but again, we talk about the spurt ability, Chad.
Beers with her second block shot.
Wow.
That landed on Gassama as she was standing out of bounds.
A big-time defensive play right there. You talk about the anchor of the Sooner defense and that rim protection, and Reagan showing it to you right there.
Bertholz squeezes off a 3 and drills it. That's her first field goal.
She has such a quick trigger when she pulls. 40% three-point shooter when she shoots over 3 per game.
Up and under, the scoop shot goes for Selena Peterson.
I love the same hand, same foot. You know I talk about it all the time, Chad. Throws the timing of that shot blocker off.
Sahara Williams misfires on that one. Selena Peterson is another one of those players that's been in the program. This is her 4th year at New Mexico State.
I love the box out, though. You see those black jerseys getting inside, creating that cup you talk about to allow them to go rebound the basketball.
Gassama not risking having her shot blocked by Beers that time. Kaiser blocked by Beers. Kaiser third.
Kaiser said, I'll try it. Reagan said, bring it on.
So Reagan Beers, 3 more blocks today, 17 on the season. That's a 2 for Skylar Van. That's off the mark. And Sahara Williams tipped that ball out of bounds. It will go to the Aggies as Liz Scott, Zaya Van, and Lexi Keys return for the Sooners. Such a deep and talented roster that Jenny Baranczyk has at her disposal.
You see those box outs again, though, by the black jerseys, Chad. That ball hits the rim. Sooners had 7 offensive rebounds in that first quarter. Most of those were really, really early. I think when that timeout was called by Coach Adams, they talked a little bit about box outs.
Well, the talk got through.
Whatever was said was definitely heard, right?
2 minutes into this period, tied at 16. That one whipped inside. Gassama going to work for 2.
That time Liz gambled right there. I like to call it the fish and miss. She went for it, didn't get it, allowed that angle for Gassama.
Skylar Van misfires there. Oklahoma 2 for 12 from 3-point range. And you see the impact. Reagan Beers back out of the game. New Mexico State went right back inside.
Without a question, Chad. That is a great view on your behalf. Yeah, happy feet. Shuffle them a little bit.
Peterson whistled for the travel, the 5th New Mexico State turnover.
Chad, you sound like you've watched a game or 2 or called a game or 2 over the past, I won't call out how many years, so we'll keep us close. Just the last few years, right?
Yeah, you and I are on 2 in the last 24 hours.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are, Chad. Good to be with you, partner.
Verhulst somehow got to that ball. Keys with a 3. That one's good. Lexi Keys has been red hot.
Something simple, though. That pass by, I think it was Liz Scott, led Peyton Verhulst. She knew she couldn't shoot it. Lexi made herself available right there. Just something very simple, and allowed Peyton, the leading assister on this team, to get another one.
Lexi Keys, kind of a slow start. Was just 1 of her first 8 from 3-point range this year, but she's made 21 of her last 41 from downtown.
And talking to Coach Baranczyk, she told her, Lexi, just go be you. Just play. You've done this long enough. And look at that. Liz Scott led. Peyton was almost out of bounds. And did you see when I said Lexi made herself available? She just relocated right there to that right corner. And really excellent play by both Peyton and Lexi, but Peyton made one heck of a play, and that's why she leads this team in assists, Chad.
Here's Gassama. She's been out. Started the season with back-to-back double-doubles. Has 3 on the year. And she averaged 7 points, 8 rebounds a game a season ago. She had a 20-point, 17-rebound game last year in the Conference USA quarterfinals. Kirsten Johnson up off the bench. Misses that jump hook.
Tell you what, this is a rugged, tough group right here in black for the Aggies. They don't mind putting a body and being physical. They play with physicality.
Gassama against Kirsten Johnson this time. Spins over her right shoulder. And that's out of bounds off of Reagan Beers. It'll stay right here with New Mexico State.
And the Sooners can throw. I mean, you got 6'4" and 6'4" out there, and they're making life tough for Gassama. And that time, KJ did an excellent job of walling up and not allowing that angle. And that's what happens when you just force a player to score over you.
Another player the Aggies are just getting back is Noah Garcia, the native of Madrid, Spain. She returns, and Gassama gets a breather. 5 to shoot. Kaiser pulls back and fires. And Zayvan has the Oklahoma rebound. Kaiser now 2 of 8 from the field so far. And Zayvan is bumped, and they call it for traveling. Going back and forth there with Sanchez Oliver.
And that was Zaya trying to get into that back down mode a little bit there, a la Magic Johnson-esque on the back down, and ended up losing the balance just a little bit with that physicality that we're talking about.
Then Zayvan called for a little check against Sanchez Oliver.
Yeah, that was a cheapie right there. And again, this game has been fairly clean. Second team foul on the Sooners this quarter. They only had 2 in the first quarter.
First foul on Zayvan. Tied at 19. Oklahoma once led this game by 6. Mexico State led at the end of the first period. They run Harding off the 3-point line. Here goes Sanchez Oliver to the bucket, and that's the 4th block for Reagan Beers.
Reagan Beers is hosting a block party in Lloyd Noble right now, Chad.
Well, it is the holiday season. Why not?
Come on out. Who's the DJ? Reagan might be DJing as well. She's doing it all. She is hosting a block party, and she said, "Not in my paint. Get that out of here."
What a luxury it is, though, to have that, protecting the back.
You can just be so much more aggressive on the perimeter.
It's going to be a holding foul against Selena Peterson. It's her first, and the first in the period against the Aggies. Zayvan finds space, goes right down the baseline and lays it in.
Just a smooth player, Chad. Zayvan it's going to be fun to watch her as she grows wearing this Sooner uniform.
First field goal for the Sooner freshman. And she gets the steal. 2-on-1, Keys, Zayvan. Zaya, too strong. And a rebound claimed by Kirsten Johnson. Oklahoma will get the reset.
Zaya did everything right, but make the layup right there, Chad.
Into Beers. What a thread the needle pass by Keys. Beers had that one partially blocked, but a foul call. Close. Midway through the second period, Sooners lead the Aggies by 2 at the Lloyd Noble.
The good thing is, this first season, this inaugural SEC season, you're going to have some new foes, some new rivals. I mean, there's a lot of excitement wrapped around both of these programs, and it's good to see them in good hands.
So Reagan Beers to the foul line, drops home the first. 22-19 for the SEC. It's impossible to say which side, the men's side or the women's side, is.
Take your pick, Chad.
Exactly.
Pick your poison is a better way to put that. Sorry for cutting you off, but I know where you were headed. That is not where you Sooners extended right here, a little 2-2-1. And something I was looking at, we talked about off air, Chad, this second quarter, I'm going to give both teams have been locked in defensively. Oklahoma's shooting 33% from the field. The Aggies are shooting 29% from the field. Not a lot of balls going in the hole, Chad.
No.
Give the defense credit, though, because both of these groups can really do this.
Look at that defensive set. Shot clock was at 3. Rosing had to put it up. Sahara Williams was all over.
I'm just pulling the nails out of the floor, making plays.
Verhulst, speaking of making plays.
That is a sneak. That left-hand side, right-hand finish, just right up and under the shot blocker. That was a big-time finish by Peyton Verhulst.
Harding can't answer. Sooner lead back out to 6. Lob ahead to the sprinting Kirsten Johnson. Once again, Oklahoma, I would say it's probably 6 shots from within 6 feet that they've missed so far today.
I was just going to say, you might be one. I was thinking 5. I mean, that we've seen point blank, and I think you're right with 6. That spurt ability, OU's right there scratching at it, but you make those 5 or 6, that's 10, 12 points. That makes a big difference because this is a good group right here in black.
Gasama back in there, splashes one down.
These Aggies came to play, and they are well-schooled, well-coached. They're physical, and it's a great tune-up for the Sooners right now because they're in for a fight today.
That stopped a 6-0 Oklahoma run. Beers right back to it. Good feed there by Sahara Williams. And 2 free throws for Reagan Beers.
Chad, we were talking about Peyton making plays. Look at that. Right to left cross. Throws the timing of the shot blocker off because you're on the left-hand side, and she just scoops it. I call it sneaks it right up and under, and that is just a big-time play by a big-time player wearing white for the Sooners.
So Beers set to line up a pair. 8 points and 8 rebounds already for Reagan Beers.
And bragging on Peyton a little more, Chad, you and I were doing a little research off the air. She is only one of 4 players this season in women's college basketball to have a triple-double, and you went a little deeper than that.
Yeah, since 1999, there's only 2 players to have a 25-point triple-double against the top 25 team, as she did against Duke. And Caitlin Clark is the other one. So twice in the last 25 years, a 25-point triple-double against the top 25 team.
And that is, again, good company to be involved with anytime you mention you and Caitlin Clark being the only 2 players to do anything.
There's a turnover. That one bounds right to Sanchez Oliver, who attacks. Can't get the shot away, though. Sooners all over her.
Great transition defense by the Sooners. And that was one of those things. There's an old saying, you don't backpedal in transition D. You got to sprint.
Boy, that's a tough shot from Kaiser.
That is a high degree of difficulty. And again, we talked about a bucket getter getting buckets for the Aggies right there.
So New Mexico State with a chance to tie or retake the lead with 2:45 to play in the first half. Kaiser's had a good first half as expected, leading Conference USA in scoring over 1,400 career points. She's got 8 to lead the way today. And we're tied on that one. It's a 2.
That's a deep deuce right there by Harding, and Harding usually shoots threes. About 70% of her field goal attempts are from behind the arc, but that was a extra deep 2 right there.
She made 5 threes against Santa Clara earlier this year. Sahara Williams, the answer for the Sooners, who are back on top.
That was just an easy turn face. Used her legs, put it up. It looked very simple, and Sahara doing Sahara things.
First bucket for Sahara Williams today, as we hit the 2-minute warning on the first half. Kaiser being diligent, trying to work through the offense. 5 to shoot now. Kaiser got just enough of a screen from Garcia, and the reset rebound by Jones.
Great job by Jones. That player that takes off from behind the 3-point line is the toughest one to box out when they're crashing the offensive glass. Easy to box out the one in the paint, but Jones had a running start that last possession and came up a little short right there.
Yeah, that ball nearly landed dead on the back of the rim. Up top, Sahara Williams foul. Now, Skylar Vann got that one to her quickly.
That is Sahara doing Sahara things. She loves to get in that paint. She works. She gets almost 3 offensive rebounds a game, and she loves to play the game with a sense of physicality. And you and I talk about this all the time, Chad. Just she plays with such force that sometimes these officials, she gets dinged sometimes just because she's a strong player. I'm not sure she fouls as much as she gets called for fouls.
Sahara Williams, sophomore, former McDonald's All-American, one of 3 McDonald's All-Americans on this Oklahoma roster, along with Beers and Verhulst. But Sydney Baranczyk talking about this being a year for growth for Sahara Williams. And you know, some of the things that may have frustrated her a season ago as a freshman, she's able to get past them now.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't call them growing pains. That's just what happens with maturity. And she is such a mature person to start with and such a talented player. Speaking of talented players.
Kaiser got bumped at the end of that one.
What? That was called the hesitation dribble right there. She had it right there on the right slot area, kind of a hesitation, and she went from gear 1 to 3. She skipped a gear and went right to the basket with such speed. She is wired to score, Chad. Very impressed with Molly Kaiser.
Out of the Fort Worth area, Molly Kaiser ready with her degree. She had a 35-point game against Utah Tech, a 30-point game against New Mexico. First team All-Conference USA a season ago.
Yeah, Saginaw High School, not far. I used to live in Keller, so right up there, you said, just north of Fort Worth. And I'm sure she was getting a lot of buckets there at Saginaw as well and brought them out to the, what do you call it, the valley there at New Mexico State.
Nevaeh Tot, unfriendly bounce, but she retrieves the miss. Lena Scott's foul line jumper. That one rims in. And then we got a foul after the basket on the floor.
Sahara, we talked about it. We talked about that strength.
Just going to make sure who this one is against as they signal it out over on the far side of the floor. We'll look again.
Yep.
Well, that's not where it occurred. It occurred as the ball was going through the bucket. But it is on Sahara Williams, her first.
Chad, you ever been to Las Cruces, New Mexico?
I have, in fact.
I've made a few trips to Las Cruces in my days.
Been to Silver City, in fact. A little further to the west.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
that one misplayed by Jones. Here come the Sooners.
Got a scrum over here.
Verhulst and Jones got a little tangled up, but they're both okay. Shot clock is off. Oklahoma is led by as many as 6. And they could take their largest lead with a made field goal to close the half. Skylar Vann's 3, short. And that'll do it for the opening half. Low scoring affair by both these teams' standards, Pooh.
Yes, and I'm giving the defense all the credit. That last possession was a prime example. You had a highly contested shot, great box outs, and we've been in for great basketball this first half, Chad, and hopefully the second half gives us more. Sooners are up 5, and
we had 4 ties and 8 lead changes in the opening half at the Lloyd Noble Center. Both the Sooners and New Mexico State closing out non-conference play here. Reagan Beers leading the way for Oklahoma. And we expected Molly Kaiser to be a big factor for New Mexico State, but maybe the bigger surprise has been what Fantagasama has been able to do, especially on the interior, Pooh, today against Oklahoma.
Gasama has been so active, Chad. 11 points, 5 rebounds. And you spoke on it earlier, though. She had 22 points and 16 rebounds at UC Irvine. She had 14 points, 14 rebounds versus Utah Tech. So she's capable, but to bring it on the road here in Norman, Oklahoma against this top 10 team, number 9 in the country, OU Sooners ball club, has been very impressive. And Gasama has 11, Kaiser has 9. They have 20 of the 26 total points for the Aggies.
And you have to credit the defense of New Mexico State, as Oklahoma's 31-point total is their second lowest output in a half this season. Sooners get the first touch to start half number 2.
Look at the attention right there that Beers draws, Chad.
And a quick turnover taken away by Peterson, running to the rim and laying that ball in on the backside is Tyler Jones. Fans were standing. I couldn't see the angle. Who got the layup?
You had to work right there. They're making you work over it, Chad. Nevaeh Tot, something I wanted to talk about with the basketball. Sooners love to go inside early in the first and third quarter.
Verhulst, no with the 3. And Oklahoma, tough shooting day from downtown so far. 3 of 16 from three-point range.
Talking about Nevaeh, and just things that go unnoticed. Nevaeh Tot had 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 0 turnovers in 11 minutes in that first half, Chad. How impressive. I mean, 4 assists, no turnovers, but 5 rebounds as a 5'3", generously listed point guard. I mean, that is so impressive by the veteran guard Nevaeh.
The numbers might not pop off the page for Nevaeh Tot, but the impact has always been there.
Fingerprints are all over winning.
Jones has 2 buckets to start the second half, and we have a tie ball game at 31 apiece.
Rugged group right here from Las Cruces, chat. We talked about it. They are just a hard-nosed. I compared them.
It's our 6th tie of the day, and the Aggies have a chance to take the lead. Kaiser pushes the tempo, pops, and it drops, and New Mexico State has retaken the lead.
They are a tough group, and that was another one of those bunnies that we talked about. Reagan had it right there, point blank, and you and I talked about this off the air. The Sooners have to take advantage of those bunnies that they're getting.
Sama got a hand out there to tip that one away. Beers is just 3 of 9 from the field, and Jenny Baranchek looks on this one. Early substitution. She puts Kirsten Johnson in, replacing Skylar Van here in the first 2 minutes of this half. And Johnson turns that over. Trying to dump it in. Gassama stole it.
Yeah, that was just one that was not there. I'm looking at the coaching staff and Coach Baranchek, too. She kind of thinks Skylar's about to come back in for KJ, if I'm not mistaken.
Jones, not this time. Mexico State 2-point lead. Oklahoma yet to score here in half 2.
A 7-0 run by the Aggies.
Verhulst drills the 3 to put the Sooners back on top.
She can lull you to sleep a little bit with that rock. You boom, then right up into that 3, and impressive by Peyton Verhulst, who we talk about that quick trigger from deep.
That is her kind of go-to zone out there. That's her 30th made 3 of the year, and the Aggies find the answer to take the lead as Gassama is able to knock one down.
Gassama playing with so much confidence right now. 4 out, 1 in. OU. Look at Beers directing traffic from that post.
They whip it inside to her, and she's fouled on her way up by Sanchez Oliver.
She just draws so much attention, Chad. The finisher thought that I had earlier, I talked about, I think Coach Baranchek got her point across, whatever she wanted to say to Skylar, and now she's back in for KJ. But I compare this Aggies group from Las Cruces, New Mexico, to kind of a Jim Harbaugh coached football team. It's not sexy or pretty or whatever you want to call it. It's just fundamental, hardcore basics, and they do it well. And if you're good at the basics, you give yourself a chance to win games.
They defend, they rebound, and they don't turn the ball over.
Guess what? You and I talked about
pretty good recipe since they hung the peach baskets.
That is a formula for winning. And they're going to give themselves a chance to win in Conference USA play when it kicks off.
Oklahoma back up by 1. 11 lead changes so far today. Way off the mark out of the hand of Peterson. It creates a running opportunity here for Tot and the Sooners.
Just another rebound, too. Think about it. We keep talking about Nevaeh. That is her 6th rebound from that point guard position.
Trying to work it to Beers. There are 3 players packed in against Beers. Williams lines up a 3. That one is good for Sahara Williams. Her first made 3.
Sahara makes a shot, but Nevaeh Tot, again, that is her 5th assist to 0 turnovers with 6 rebounds from that point guard spot. She impacts winning, Chad.
Nevaeh Tot, 532 career assists. That is 5th in Oklahoma history. Here's Kaiser trying one. That one is good.
Molly Kaiser, man, is she a problem? She is a problem.
Well, we're just going to go back and forth shooting 3-pointers. Verhulst this time.
Well, we showed up for a basketball game and fell up on a 3-point shootout, Chad.
So Verhulst knocks down her second 3 of the day. Gassama set a crunching screen there, and the Sooners get the tie-up. It'll stay on this end on the alternating possession arrow.
And I can't brag enough about Nevaeh Tot and what she brings to this Sooner group. Look at this. Steve, that is the Steve Nash. Where you dribble it, you keep it alive, came to the other side and just found Sahara with her feet, shoulders squared. Sahara gets credit for the 3, but give Nevaeh all the credit for spoon-feeding her.
Jenny Baranchek talking about Nevaeh Tot, since she gets us. She says she knows what this Sooner team needs. Kaiser off the mark. Liz Scott has checked in, as has Lexi Keys and Zaya Van for Oklahoma. That'll stay on this end, out of bounds off Liz Scott.
Those long shots produce long rebounds. Liz came in, But again, inside out rebounding right there by the Aggies, gave themselves a chance, and now they get another possession.
Gassama trying to work her way around Liz Scott. Blocked. Was it ever touched by a Sooner?
I think Liz did block it out of bounds.
You're
that
right.
was a great job of high hands back to keep those officials from blowing that whistle. And Liz does such a great job down there in the paint.
Shot clock is at 10 here for the Aggies. Keys tried to knock it away, but Jones able to dump it inside, and Kaiser scores.
That was an excellent pass by Tylee Jones, and you give it to number 7, Kaiser. She knows what to do with it.
14 for Kaiser today. She leads all scorers in this game. Lexi Keys couldn't get free from Kaiser. Van into Scott. Stripped. Scott got it back on the deck. Somehow got it to Keys. 5 to shoot. A Verhulst 3. No. That'll just bound on out of bounds.
I mean, that was a lot of action right there. We had bodies on the deck flying around, and isn't it funny though how out of all that craziness that was happening, that ball found a 40% three-point shooter right here in this right wing, and that time the Aggies got lucky. They dodged a bullet because Peyton Verhulst makes those.
She just meant 2 of them in this half, 3 in the game. Mexico State a chance to tie or retake the lead, and we are midway through this third quarter.
Just great activity. I'm so impressed in preparation watching. Look at this. They just do not stop, and Kaiser scores a lot of baskets, but she cuts with great pace and allows herself to get a lot of open opportunities, Chad.
Liz Scott will try one way off the mark. Skylar Van rebounds. No shot clock reset. Keys is wide open, and she knows how to bury those.
She does. That is a Lexi Keys threes, please, right there in rhythm, and give Skylar credit going to the offensive boards where she gets 2 of those per game. She got the offensive rebound and an assist out of that possession.
Second 3 of the game for Lexi Keys. Sooners back up by 5. Off the screen, Harding fires and scores. That was a 2 for Jayla Harding.
That is a set play, though. Look at that action, that activity right there. A great screen, and Harding is a knockdown three-point shooter, cut with pace, and got herself open.
Zia Van is off the mark with that 3 try, and Gassama has the rebound. Into the hands of Kaiser, leading scorer in Conference USA. Just backed it up today with 16 points to lead everybody.
Look at this activity. We're going to watch. Just look at the cuts. Watch how much pace.
That one down from Jayla Harding to make it a 1-point game.
Tough shot. That was really good defense, and that was just a better shot right there on that dribble handoff by Harding.
And Van is fouled by Siani Sanchez-Oliver. We go to break. Lexi Keys continues to let it rip from downtown. Pooh.
I know you love it, Chad. Keys is a 44% three-point shooter. Give her credit. Skylar Van with the pass. Keys for threes. Letting anyone down.
Yep. It's pretty easy to pick a player to watch.
When they average 20 a game.
State. But not always do they come as advertised. That's been the case for Molly Kaiser today.
What is that like when you order it? You know, when you order it, it looks like something online, and when you get it, it looks like something else. She was as advertised as you said, Chad.
Lexi Keys gets away a runner that rimmed out. Liz Scott back up with it and in.
Liz doing Liz things. She gets 2 offensive rebounds a game, and she's at that right now. That's what she does, Chad. Cleaning up, picking up that loose change right there for the Sooners, and tough finish.
Under 3 to go here in the third. The Mexico State's outscored Oklahoma in this period, 18-16. Kaiser, tough shot over Zia Van, and Zia called for the foul. Kaiser will shoot a pair.
That is one of those where Zia, the young freshman, it was great job, great effort, got there, contested with high hands. Not sure she got into Molly's landing space right there, or if she hit her up top, but great job, and don't bail that shooter out of that offensive player by either getting in her space or tapping the wrist up top. Great effort, though, by Zia.
Kaiser carry over to the staff of Jody Adams, she's a fifth-year player with a third-year coaching staff, and she has really bought into the culture. Jody Adams talks about it. It's family. So, yeah, family, okay. And she says, no, it's an acronym as well. Forget about me. I love you. Family.
Love it.
Lexi Keys still sizzling from three-point range.
Threes, please, for Keys. And that was a nice right-hand baseline drive into the corner drift by Lexi right there. Great pass led into an open three-point shot.
9 for Keys, all from the three-point line today. And she's got a rebound here.
See, Zaya Van gets it, though. Like, that is a simple play, and Lexi was not open, but Zaya knows that Lexi's hot right now, so she was looking for that shooter.
Sahara Williams crashes down the lane and converts it.
Sooners are really getting it done now, getting the basketball to the paint. Lexi's three was created by a drive to the paint by Sahara. That time, Sahara just took it to herself, drove it, finished it. Tough finish going left with the right hand.
9 points for Sahara Williams. And Oklahoma's lead is back to 6.
This is that part of the game. The Sooners are trying to create a little separation, and we'll see right now if the Aggies can withstand this drive. And now there's a travel. That was a good job of pulling the chair. Liz Scott thinks they're calling a foul on her because she gets tagged with fouls, but she pulled the chair right there and caused that travel. Liz said, what did I do? Liz, you did a really good job of pulling the chair.
Defense.
Yes, that's exactly what you did, Liz.
Gassama has had a good day so far, 13 points, 6 of 10 from the field, but guilty of the travel. The 9th turnover against New Mexico State. Beers back in, catches, scores it, and she's fouled by Gassama.
That was a simple little action right there where hope Reagan's okay. I think she's got a contact loose right there, but she comes up like she's going to set a ball screen, and as you saw, Gassama stood straight up and relaxed. And instead of setting the screen, she slipped it and dove straight to the rim. And by the time Gassama reacted or recovered, she was in harm's way right there and got the foul.
You talk all the time about these spurts that Oklahoma can go on. You think you're playing them pretty even and doing a good job, and all of a sudden, in a minute and a half, they put 8 points on the board.
Boom.
And that's exactly what has happened here.
Spurtability, Chad. They have ridiculous spurtability, and it can just come at you in waves. It can be threes, it can be transition, it can be in the paint, where we've seen the last 2 possessions. That is Sooner basketball. That is what they do.
13 points and 8 rebounds for Reagan Beers so far. An 8-0 Oklahoma run. Where the Aggies go to try to stop it? Well, it won't be on this trip. That's an illegal screen against Garcia that will send it the other way.
I think Coach Adams trying to get a quick timeout. They tried to run him through the elevated door, and Harding is a three-point shooter and got the foul.
So the timeout, New Mexico State with Oklahoma on an 8-0 run. And the Sooners have taken their largest
in this third quarter. The Aggies are shooting 62% from the field. The Sooners are shooting 57% from the field, but they are 5 for 8 from behind the three-point stripe. You got a lot of balls going through the rim, Chad, in this quarter.
Lexi Keys has got things going along with Peyton Verhulst from the three-point line, and Reagan Beers back in, approaching a double-double.
And then right now, too, the maestro, Nevaeh Tot, is back in as well. She is just directing traffic, being a assistant coach on the floor for this group. Give her an assist for that one as well.
You will, because Sahara Williams scored, though it was a tough angle for her.
I'm just telling you, that give 6 rebounds, 6 assists, and Sahara with the tough finish, and the QB right there. She's the QB of this squad, Nevaeh Tot, making plays.
Oklahoma in the middle of a 10-0 run. That is the 5th foul against New Mexico State here in this third period. So bonus free throw time for the Sooners.
And we keep talking about it. It's been a clean game. This is just getting into the double bonus for the first time this afternoon, Chad. It's been a clean game both ways, but the Aggies got into that double bonus right here, or put the Sooners in it with that 5th team foul.
New Mexico State's gone 2.5 minutes without a score. And so Oklahoma's put a little breathing room between the two teams.
And it's just that spurtability. It's like the light switch. You click it on and here they go, but came up empty in that possession though by Liz.
9th rebound for Reagan Beers after Scott missed both free throws.
Coach Baranchak directing traffic right here. Let's see what they get into.
4 to shoot. Beers into Sahara Williams. She got it away, but it didn't touch the rim, and it'll be a shot clock violation.
That was that invert. When I say invert, what I mean is usually when the Sooners play high-low basketball, Reagan Beers is the low while someone else comes high. That time they tried to take advantage of a matchup. Reagan goes high, Sahara was low, and that's what the Sooners were trying to take advantage of and didn't quite connect.
Shot clock is off. New Mexico State trying to stifle a 10-0 Oklahoma run to close out this third quarter. Rosing gave it up. Kaiser fires at the horn, no good. And so Oklahoma pulls away with a 10-0 run over the final 2.5 minutes of the third. They'll take an 11-point lead to the fourth quarter in Norman. Tennessee, a big win over Winthrop. Of course, Tennessee is the alma mater of New Mexico State head coach Jody Adams. She won a national title there under the legendary Pat Summitt back in 1991. And her team has been in it much of the day, but Jenny Baranchak's Sooners closed the third quarter on a 10-0 run, and they'll try to continue that to start the fourth.
Sooners have been getting it done with their offense and their defense for this spurt that they've been on, Chad. They're going to get it in Nevaeh's hands and let her make the play.
Beers, just a little ball fake, put it on the deck, but couldn't convert it.
Very makeable shot for Reagan Beers right there. And just, again, you give Gassama credit by making Reagan score over her and not allowing an angle.
Gassama playing with 3 fouls, and that's going to be a turnover against Kaiser. She thought she had a teammate available over there on the right wing, but there was nobody home.
Well, that's that little action where they have 2 on that right side, and the wing will dive hard, try to draw the attention. You lift that corner player out of there, and usually they can get an open 3, and I don't think Kaiser and the cutter were on the same page.
Mexico State, 11 turnovers. Oklahoma's turned it over 10 times in this one. Here's a big screen for Verhulst, who fires and hits.
Great action right there by the Sooners on this right-hand side. They had a little misdirection action, brought Peyton behind a quick empty side ball screen and roll. And Reagan rolled hard and drew enough attention for Peyton to pull up and make that J.
13 points for Peyton Verhulst. The Sooner run extends to 12-0 going back to the third. That's a tough 2, and it's off the mark from Peterson. Double-double now for Beers. That's her 10th rebound. And a steal. Plucked away at midcourt by Peterson. Kaiser down the lane, crashes into Beers, absorbs the contact and scores.
That is a bucket getter going and getting a tough one right there. Tried to draw the foul and get a and one, but great finish right there by Kaiser.
Sahara Williams takes the feed from Beers and scores.
Sahara's so strong, so physical. Again, we talked about the invert. Reagan Beers dishing from the top. Sahara being the low of the high-low and finishing it up strong.
Kaiser, left-hand score.
Just right there, getting her average right there, Chad. That's what she does. She goes and gets buckets. Straight line drive. That was a little easy, though.
Verhulst 3 in and out. Sahara Williams back up with it, no. And Gassama had the rebound. She had to the late outlet pass there.
Well, Sahara gets 2.5 offensive rebounds per game and just couldn't quite finish right there, though. Picked up that loose change, but couldn't put it in the basket.
In the hands of Kaiser. 10 to shoot.
Playing his sideline, and Kaiser took advantage with the straight line last possession. Didn't do it this one.
Harding is off the mark with that 2, and Verhulst steps in to grab her 3rd rebound.
Verhulst, such a stat stuffer. We talked about the triple-double.
All the way the other way, but no. Beers back up, scores it.
That you know what was so nice about that, if you're a Sooner fan? Reagan Beers tipped the rebound with her right hand to her left hand to get it and put it in, Chad. Made it look simple and easy.
So that's 15 points and 11 rebounds for Reagan Beers. New Mexico State with the timeout, trying to do it with defense and stay in this one.
Well, we talk about it all the time, a little deep.
Have it your way.
As you play.
Back to a 12-point game. Oklahoma led by 15. Zyvan had that one knocked away by Sanchez Oliver. It'll stay right here with 13 to shoot.
This has been a great test for the Sooners. This is one of those when you get back from the holiday and you got that turkey and stuffing in your system and you've been hanging out opening gifts. Like you're playing a scrappy bunch, as we say, right there on point, on cue.
Kaiser just took that ball. 3 by Jones is good. Back under double figures
This is
now.
a scrappy bunch right on cue. They just showed up and they're doing, and here comes the wholesale changes by Coach Baranchek. This is a line change, right? I'm not a big hockey guy, but I see a line change coming.
Zaya Van gonna get a bucket first.
Zaya Van is gonna just enjoy it, Sooner fans, because this is a smooth, talented freshman that is just gonna get better and better as she plays.
Sama trying to step across and lost it. Liz Scott defending, and Keys the other way.
Liz Scott, again, always in the thick of it. That time she tried to pull the chair again and got him on the swipe down and caused a turnover.
Circled inside the Scott, and Gasama's going to pick up a foul wrestling with Scott. There'll be 4 fouls on Gasama.
Look at this, Kaiser, where she gets 2.1 of those per game. Just went and took it, and that still led to this 3 right here by Jones. Teeing up, she got her shoulders and her feet squared, baskets, and the Sooners, again, with that line change. Right now, we got a, I don't even know a hockey guy to call, Chad, but hockey line change, let's just say that. But Beers doing Beers things. If she gets it that deep, she's going to make over 72%, which is her normal average. But when she gets it that deep, make it a 90% chance she's making it.
17 points and 11 rebounds for Reagan Beers. A little backdoor cut, but Kaiser couldn't quite get it to fall.
Kaiser plays so hard, too. I mean, I said it before the game. She must take an ice bath after every game. Look at that pass.
Beautiful ball movement. The corner feed and the easy deuce for Beers.
I mean, Sahara didn't even put it in her hand. She just tapped it. That was a touch pass right on the dot. I mean, that was a on the dime money pass to Reagan Beers. And again, if she gets it that deep, that just chalk up 2.
Oklahoma leading the country in assists. They have 15 on 28 made buckets today. That'll be a Skylar Van foul trying to cut off Jones. 2 fouls on Van. Another little run by Oklahoma. This is a little 6-0 spurt.
That's that spurt ability. And Chad, I'm looking at our stat line right here. Nevaeh Tott has only taken 2 field goals. She hadn't scored a basket today, or point. And I've been talking about her, and maybe that's the point guard, but that is what you have to have, everyone has a role. And she's capable of running off and getting 15, 14, 12 points in a game, but she's just like a quarterback. She's facilitating, she's making plays, she's making the game easier for all those around her. And when you have all the talent that does surround her, you need a quarterback, and she does such a great job of doing that.
The orchestrator.
She is the maestro.
The maestro. Beers, deep post position, but stripped. Here comes Kaiser. 3-on-2 numbers. Harding off the mark with that one. And a rugged rebound there. Skylar Van tipped it. Verhulst will take it.
Kaiser missed Jones. She was on a dead sprint on that right wing, right side of the floor. And I know Harding is a knockdown jump shooter, but that time you had Jones on the right side. She missed her.
10 to shoot. Nevaeh Tott for the Sooners. Williams for 3. Got that one.
Sahara has spent a lot of time shooting 26% right now, and that is her 9th made 3 on the season. Made 10. That's the 2nd one today. But she can make that shot, and the more she starts to bang that shot, again, that is her 10th one so far, but she spent time, and feet, shoulder squared. She's going to start knocking that in consistently.
Oklahoma's made 6 of 10 from 3-point range in this second half. Skylar Van impacted that one from Jones.
And the Sooners play fast, but now you're talking up 17. You're going to let that clock work a little bit and get the best one you can get. And it might come early, it might come a little later, but when you get it there, that's a pretty good one.
Beers, the back down, no. Right to Skylar Van. Look what I found. 2 points.
Sometimes it's just good to be in the right place at the right time, and she gets 2 offensive rebounds per game, but that might be the easiest one she gets this season.
I mean, this is an 11-1 spurt by Oklahoma. Williams crashes into Kaiser, who will shoot a pair. Sahara Williams picks up her second foul.
I love the toughness of both groups here. You watch the Sooners, they knock you down, and they're nice enough to help you up.
Were you that kind of guy?
Yeah, I don't think. You know what? I was a little guy, Chad. I had to come off like I was tough, and so, they didn't pick on a little skinny guy like me back. I wish I could say that now, though. What happened to those days when you used to say I was a skinny guy?
It wouldn't work. Kaiser's free throw is up and good. She, as you said, is going to be a real problem again for teams in Conference USA.
She's so good, and she does it in so many ways. And this is her 5th foul shot attempt, where she shoots over 7 per game, Chad. 24 points today. It's just like another day at the office.
Minute 30 to play.
So hard to scramble like what. Look at this box out so right there.
Peyton Verhulst circles out with a Sooner rebound. Oklahoma had a 1-point lead with about 2 minutes left in the third quarter. They closed that quarter on a 10-0 run, and they pulled away as Sahara Williams yanks away the miss.
6 of their last field goals taken have been makes, Chad. They've made 6 of their last 8. And you talked about that spurt ability. Look at that. Block party is still in session. The DJ hadn't put his equipment away yet, Chad.
No. We paid him to hang out for a couple more hours.
Hey, the DJ has not put his equipment away.
The block party is still on.
The block party's still going.
We've got that as 5 blocks for Reagan Beers today.
Hey, we're going 5. Thank you, guys. Again, we have video proof.
That would take her season total to 19 as we're under a minute left.
Look at that pass.
It results in a 3-try by Peterson that's off the mark.
Really good pass there by Sanchez Oliver. That was a great, just having a feel for it.
About 15 seconds difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Oklahoma going to be 12-1 coming out of non-conference play. New Mexico State will be 7-6. They'll open Conference USA play at Sam Houston State on January the 2nd. Verhulst for good measure.
Just a dime right there by Sahara, though. She saw that, and that is having players that know how to play the game of basketball with that play we just witnessed.
Stripped away from Kaiser. It'll be a reset here for New Mexico State. They have not dropped in a field goal in the last 4 minutes and 45 seconds.
The Sooners, they come at you in so many different ways, Chad.
Loose ball, and it'll be a held ball. Possession arrow stays here with the Aggies.
But I still tip my cap to the Aggies right here from Las Cruces. They came and they brought it. This was a great test for Oklahoma as they head into January 2nd. What is that? Is that on the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday? We got to keep them up days here. Thursday when the Longhorns come into town.
I just know it's on the 2nd.
Thursday.
Check your calendars.
It's my wife's birthday, by the way. Speaking birthdays,
You better get it straight.
Coach Adams' birthday. We got to give that a shout out today.
It is Jody Adams' birthday today, and these former head coaching opponents at Drake and Wichita State have played for the first time as head coaches at Oklahoma and New Mexico State. And Jenny Baranchek's Sooners come away with their 12th win in 13 tries this season. They'll move on to SEC play. And what a test it'll be also on January the 2nd when they take on number 5 Texas.